time.
Right.
And let him change his own damn tire.
Against him, right? Yeah.
God, what a little bitch.
Alex Hendry, go ahead.
Wow. I don't know if I can comment over that. That was like that was top tier stuff there.
Somebody drop a bomb on that right there.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the truth. I mean your pit crew is your team, and
there's no I in team. Everybody works together.
Exactly. Everybody works together, and if you're gonna do something like that and disrespect the people that are helping you, then who's to say they're gonna help you next week?
Finish Line is presented by All About Wraps. My question to this, guys, for y'all on the panel: can NASCAR be fixed? Do you think it can be fixed, or is it too far gone? Kate Dillon.
Ooh.
Honestly, I don't even care. Honestly. Seriously, you know what I'd like to see is I'd like to see, to me, if you're not going to be grateful, you don't deserve it. So I think that we have some sports out there in motorsports that are far more exciting, and they are populated by people that are far more grateful to be there. So honestly, don't care.
Alex?
I just got to go back to the being relatable thing. I feel like if a fan can relate to a driver more on a more personal level, I feel like it could, attract more fans. But
yes. Yeah.
As of right now, I don't see it getting any better.
And Kate Dillon hates qualifying.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Now, I had to get on this soapbox here for you, because not only do you hate qualifying, you will give me props, though, because you said if there's one thing NASCAR is doing right, is qualifying. So explain that, and then elaborate more on why you hate qualifying. And you're not just talking about NASCAR. You're talking about Lucas Oil, World of Outlaws, your dirt tracks, your asphalt tracks, your local tracks, kart racing. You hate qualifying. Go, Kate Dillon.
Qualifying is, always has been, always will be, boring. I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and clip out the mic for that one. It's boring. I remember when I was growing up and there'd be 2-day shows and, there'd be a whole day of qualifying, which is fine. If it's going to be boring, then make it on a day that nobody has to be there, which is why I'm saying NASCAR does it right, because they do all the boring shit before anybody shows up. But when I'm sitting at a track, I got Wesley. Oh my God, he's going to lose another eye over here from laughing too hard. Wow. But for real, let me give you an example. There was an event, which I could go on and on about this. Number one, don't run 9 freaking classes, but I've been at an event.
Sister, I'll tell you on that.
Tell you what, but I've been at an event a few years ago, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and we've never seen. It was the first heat races.
Yeah.
Because all they did was qualify all freaking day. Yeah. Here's my thing, is we live in a world today in marketing that we live in an attention economy. Right now, for my videos, I do a ton of video. Everybody knows I do a ton of video. I've shot over 300 videos in the last 3 years between my couple of channels.
Right.
I don't even have an intro anymore. I don't. It's gone. Watch Netflix. If you get to the second program, they'll go ahead and cut out the intro because ain't nobody got time for even a 15-second intro.
They want the
So
next
the
segment.
last thing I want to see is 4 freaking hours of qualifying. Yeah. And look at that. No F-bombs at Wesley. No F-bombs.
You did good.
But here's the deal. I want to show up at 7 o'clock as a fan, and I want to leave at 9:30. If you want to do qualifying, start that shit at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't care. But by the time I get there at 7, have all that boring shit be done.
Alex Hendry, can you compete with that?
No. Definitely not. But I definitely see where she's coming with that, especially from like a dirt standpoint. Having these races be done at 2, 3 in the morning sometimes, that's
crazy.
That's a little much. Especially on the driver too, because they've probably been up that morning, working on the car, getting everything ready,
and especially now, when you have to go from one track to the next track. Let's say you're running a 3 or 4 day deal.
It'll wear you out.
It just as announcers, as the drivers, as the crews, as the race fans, you get kind of tired of it. You get exhausted from it.
I have another point on that too. As a fan, when I'm going to a race, what am I really going there to do? As a fan, I'm going there to watch a competition. I'm going there to watch a battle.
Yes.
Now, if that battle was done at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when they qualified, because here's the deal. If the fastest guy also then starts on the pole, Can we just do some math for a minute?
Sure.
And be like, okay, let's say we're talking about a marathon and we start the fastest guy in the front, the guy who's going to walk second, and the guy in the wheelchair third. Gosh, I wonder how that's going to come out. Really? I mean, at least make it a competition. At least make the fast guy at least pass the guy in the wheelchair.
Right.
Come on. How hard can that be? It's just all we end up watching, and not all racing, and I'm not dissing racing by any means because I love it, but I would love it to see, I want to see passing. That whole like, oh wow, he led flag to flag. Really?
The Congo line.
Wow. I mean, seriously, boring.
When you were thinking about
there we go. There's the race right there. Oh, look in the front.
3-1.
Oh,
they're 3-1.
I don't even, Wesley, you can make traveling in basketball sound exciting. So, there's that. But what I'd rather see is, the two stories you've heard me talk about are the watching drivers come from the back and go to the front.
Yes.
And that would be Donnie Schatz. That would be Scott Bloomquist.
And I want you to tell us about your stories, how you became a Donnie Schatz fan and a Scott Bloomquist fan.
That one's fun. So
Absolutely.
Donnie Schatz I was at World Finals a few years ago. It was super crazy cold, and we're up in the stands. We're like wrapped up in these blankets, and they got all these little sprint cars out there, and so I don't even know who's there.
Hang on, let me hold you off here. You were talking about how much you hate qualifying. Do you agree with me that Thursday night at the World Finals at Charlotte is completely ridiculous because it's qualifying?
No, that's fine. You're doing qualifying all on a day that isn't like you have to be here for the main events. If you want to do qualifying in a totally separate day, I don't care.
Right.
Again, you're doing all the, you know what? I don't go down for, when it comes to the World Short Track Championships, and I don't necessarily go to World Finals so much anymore. I just go to the World Short Track Championships.
And that's amazing what they've done with that event.
I love that event. But I don't go down Thursday. I mean, I have work to do, and I don't need to go down Thursday.
Right.
So, I mean, of course, I could talk to my customers and drivers and all of that.
Right.
But honestly, they're doing qualifying. They're doing qualifying in practice. That's fine. Go do that. But on a regular race night, and it is a big event, and there's like 300 cars there. So that's an understandable situation. I'm not totally understanding about stuff. What I'm saying is when I go to a race, I want to see a race, and I don't want to see a race at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's one thing I gave props to, and I think you even you put a heart sign on the emoji on my comment on Facebook and social media, was I had to give props to Bubba Raceway Park and Needmore Speedway. They started a race at 2:00 in the afternoon, or at 7:00 at night, by 10:00 at night, or by 5:00 in the afternoon.
You're posting victory lane.
They were done.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you guys got it. And they didn't run 8, 9, 10 classes. And they didn't spend a half an hour during an intermission doing track prep work and et cetera. You get in, you get out, you have a great time. And another thing that gets me, and I know you testify and you talk about it too, is promoters trying to make money back on the back gate, trying to get many classes and as many cars as you can get in there.
Here's we're in a downward spiral.
Well, you say it's about promotion.
Well, it really is. So here's the situation. You now have an event that lasts, that if you want to get your kids to bed at a reasonable time and you want to be out of there, like if you you want to see the best promotion out there is go to a regional baseball game. I don't even like baseball, but as far as doing it right, they do it right. It's entertaining, even though it's baseball. Maybe people won't like me I've been to a few.
Love baseball.
You love everything. It's you're like Mikey. You're like Mikey from whatever that Life cereal was. Like Mikey likes everything. Anyway. They do, as far as doing it right and being involved in the community, and they get you in and get you out. I mean, it's 7:00 and you're walking out the door at 9:30. So if you're a race fan and you want to bring your family and you want to ingrain that and this is part of your family, because it's truly what it is. I mean, for me, racing is in my blood because it's part of my family.
Yes.
But, if you're a fan and you're taking your kids and it's already 9:30 and you kind of need to get your kids into bed because they're small. And
church in the morning sometimes.
And
if
you
you're on
haven't
Saturday
even
night to Sunday morning.
And you're and now you're on the second heat race, and it's going to be another 4 hours before there's actually going to be a main event.
Yes.
What a disappointment.
Well, and one of the saddest things I see sometimes, guys, is because the damn shows get dragged out so long.
Yeah.
And
that's
see people,
many
see
reasons.
the moms cradling their kids or carrying their children, and they're like, "Man, I've had enough of this. I'm exhausted." And then you feel like you cheated them because they didn't get to see anything. And then you think to yourself, is that their first time to this racetrack? Will they ever come back?
Mm.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying is downward spiral. I think there's a lot of opportunity because here's the deal is you have a 9-hour show or whatever the hell it is. It doesn't get over. Then you're going to chase away fans.
Absolutely.
The fewer fans you have, the fewer opportunities you're going to have to bring in sponsorship, which means the more you're going to have to rely on the back gate, which means you're going to bring in more classes and make this thing last even longer. So the flip side of that would be if you limit the number of classes, you get a show that's in and out.
Yes.
You ingrain yourself in the community like the regional baseball teams. If you're not a marketer, hire somebody who is. That's not even a service I offer. So I have nothing I'm not trying to sell anything here.
Right.
I'm just saying that the one thing that regional baseball teams do understand is to have someone that's a marketer. But let me back up for just a moment.
Okay, go ahead.
So one of the ways we ended up at the baseball stadium, when I was in Idaho, I worked in an architectural firm. And at that architectural firm, the marketing person from the regional baseball team came to my boss and said, "Hey, why don't you have your employees and bring all their families and have a team building event at come to the baseball. Here we'll give you this package deal where you get tickets and you get a hot dog and a drink for everybody, whatever the heck." I mean, my boss just took care of it, and then we all had to go. But we had a fantastic time. But there is one key piece, one incredibly important thing that needs to happen if you're going to bring in a mainstream audience, and you got to fix the bathrooms. You've got to have clean, modern, stocked bathrooms. It is my biggest pet peeve. I know people laugh at me about it, but it is. If you could do that, then you can bring in mainstream fans. You can be going to the architectural firms and the law offices and the surveyor offices, and you bring in these fans. These fans could then very well become customers. Customers who become sponsors. Then you've got sponsors. Then you can afford to do even more with the track. And you don't have to be reliant. Why is it that we're relying on the racers to be both the entertainment and the payday?
Yeah.
So turn it around.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. Alex Hendry.
Yes, sir.
Your thoughts of the sport. You've expressed that. You agree with your colleague friend Kate Dillon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But,
Not just because he has to.
No, yeah, I don't want to make her mad.
What is your thoughts of prolonged long races, and as a young man as yourself, what can you say to the promoters or somebody that can convince these young kids, young adults, to get their asses out to the racetrack and come to races again?
Well, definitely.
I know it's putting you on the spot, but
it is.
You guys are the future.
Yeah, exactly.
When Kate's out of this business, when I'm out of this business, when when other people are not running anymore, it's going to be up to our youth. And Kate, I know we talk about that all the time. It's about our youth. It's about them carrying on what we're doing when we're finished. What is your plea? What can you say to them?
Definitely. I don't like the prolonged events there. Definitely get finished at a reasonable time. I mean, people have things to do,
right?
So if you're sitting out at a racetrack in the stands, like with your child or something, and you're there till like 12, 1, 2 in the morning. If something goes wrong at the track, I mean, like you said, I feel like they get a little gypped now because now the kid's asleep.
Yes.
Or I mean, with all the racing stuff going on, probably not, but he's not paying attention.
Right.
He's not looking at what's going on. He's not taking interest. And more than likely, because the kid has a bad time.
And one of the sad things that, like, even for my son, and I'll even reiterate on this, I took my son to the races last summer for about 2 weeks. Hey, Daddy, oh, man, I want to go. Okay, son, I'll finally let you come with me. Convince his mom, we'll go. the drive, obviously, nobody likes to drive. I don't like to drive.
Are we there yet?
Are
we there yet?
Exactly.
Are we there yet?
Yes, it's one of those Simpson moments. But you get to the racetrack, and it's, oh, cool. Wow. Yeah. Cool. Let me look at the cars. Go upstairs. Let me see your booth, Daddy. Let me see the announcer booth and what you're working in, what you're doing. Then the attention span's gone.
We live in a Snapchat world. I mean, 15-second stories.
And then he's like, Daddy, I want a hot dog. Daddy, I want a drink. Daddy, I want to go here. Daddy, I want to go there. Daddy, I want to go outside and play with these friends. Can I go here? Then it's by the time you're doing it, and you can't focus on your job because you're worried about your